Hi, I'm David Bell. Welcome to this episode of Through the Year with John Wesley. Few Methodists from New Zealand make it onto the world stage and influence the faith of countless people. One who has reached those heights is Colin Gibson from Dunedin. He was born in 1933, an auspicious year for worldwide Methodism when the British Church published a new hymn book. The preface states that Methodism was born in song. There isn't the slightest doubt that Colin Gibson has ensured new generations of Methodists have heard that and made it their song too. This year he was made an honorary member of the Royal School of Church Music, a worldwide organisation involving some 8,500 churches and people. In his working life he was an extraordinary academic, the Donald Colley Professor of English and head of the English Department at the University of Otago. He was a distinguished scholar in Renaissance drama, but his interests range far and wide. These include not only music, but also visual arts and explorations of the fantasy worlds of literature, Tolkien and Lewis, for example. Even today, at the age of 82, he has a tight schedule of publishing, touring with summer workshops, summer schools, and lecturing on the national and international stage, along with writing and composing the most astonishing hymns. His international standing began when he won a New Zealand hymn writing competition with a simple yet sublime "He Came Singing Love." Amid the torrent of words that usually accompany most Christian worship, a single verse captured the opposite feeling. He came singing love, he arose in silence. It was like a revelation to most Methodist congregations in New Zealand, and it quickly took off to reach a wider international audience. There was no looking back. Did his gifts and talents begin to converge into one art? Was there a single wellspring of creativity? He was steeped in literature, research, writing, editing, teaching, as well as performance, playing, composing, conducting, and the ordinary delights and duties of family. Could these be understood as different compartments? No, they were not. Each informed the other, and thus the whole becomes much more than the sum of the parts. Quote, "All that the old world gave us, all that the new world brings." It's in both and. They integrate to become our care. So from numerous children's songs to large-scale choral works, he has this vision of finding or recreating community. Quote, "Hymn singing helps to develop the spirit of unity and solidarity," unquote. And it also helps to consolidate the faith memory, he said. Now, Colin Gibson not only does all these things, he's equally committed to helping the friend and the stranger, and numerous people have known the depth of his friendship and willingness to walk the extra mile, all the while helped along the way by his loved wife, partner and friend Jeanette. She's equally gifted in the visual arts and crafts. So with all that in mind, I want to view Colin Gibson's work in the colder, harder light of unsentimental theology, rather than through the lens of pastoral affirmation. And this is where the lines on the spectrum he generates become sharp and clear. Amos Wilder, a gifted theologian and minister, wrote a book called Theopoetic, Theology in the Religious Imagination. It too was a great success. He asserted that systematic theology had eroded the essence of Christian faith, and Wilder wanted to even things up, get away from stuffy logic and explanation. Theopoetic did just that. It was a word coined from two Greek words, God-shaping. That is, how do we communicate our deepest experiences of the divine? How do we shape our talk about this experience, which is often conveyed by biblical texts and other texts? How do we do it and not just talk about the text? It's not a caricature to suggest that most Christian worship is usually just talk about the text, rather than guiding us to experience that which the text talks about. In a nutshell, that's what Colin Gibson's hymns do. The music moves us one way, the text leads us to another, but these two streams converge into one felt experience. And that's what hymns do at their best. As he wrote, quote, "The hymns we sing are made to work on our minds or our feelings, and frequently both together," unquote.
Now, Jess, blessings on you and your questions. Take your Bible and see how much more alive it is when you read it using all your God-given intelligence. See yourself in it, and maybe you'll end up also seeing God.
Thanks, Stuart. Your blessing does mean something to me. I know Josephine has a great story about Hebrew letters and blessing. Anyway, thanks for taking the time to explain things. Now, just before you go, tell me about Jubal. I was reading about him a few verses further on in Genesis. It seems he was the parent of all musicians, father to all who blow on the flute or horn, play the lyre or guitar.
Well, that's another story.
Amos Wilder wrote, quote, "It's at the level of the imagination that the fateful issues of our New World experience must first be mastered." His song fitted perfectly my own very minor play, Adam and Eve and Evolution, and Colin granted permission to use it. Using the simple concept that a congregation ought to be involved with understanding not just the biblical text, but also experience the power of the text set in our New World, we involved the congregation over a month with the play, the song, and a variety of similar input. Colin Gibson mastered that art of congregational involvement. He encouraged what he called a craft mentality among writers and composers. This involved, quote, "the recognition that inspiration is a precious beginning, but only the beginning of a sustained process of drafting and redrafting, of deliberate elaboration and refinement, to bring to completion a hymn worth other people's attention." He's not only brought hymns to people around the world, he's written text which is universal, which inspires others to hear, as if for the first time, God's themes of humour, themes of justice, themes of kindness, themes of the universe's heartbeat. As he says, nothing is lost on the breath of God. Nothing is lost forever. God's breath is love, and that love will remain, holding the world forever.